Hey everyone, it's Rock for Cash, a People's Champ, coming to you live from Cash Stadium. Welcome back to the channel. You know, sometimes you're just sitting around and having a Tosca and all of a sudden something comes out from the blue. That's what happened to the Cash this morning. We received a message from the dark side. The dark side, the team that we're playing this week in our chance to get through to the Duty Bowl. And let me just read it to you. Yeah, Cash might have a bit of a response. From the dark side, finally a chance for you to play in the Duty Bowl, Dictator Cash. A plan put together due to your inability to coach an NFL team. Seeds planted with the Fournette trade, followed by the Cam Akers talk, and throwing Michelle from my team midweek, knowing you are the only one with free time to focus on his team, picking up players like a seagull at the tip. Like a seagull at the tip. As stated by you, I never beat the dark side. Well, now you will and play in a Duty Bowl. Funny, I'll just talk about that last sentence. True, never beaten the dark side. I'm down 4-0. Lost early this year by about 40 or 50 points. But funny for a coach to concede this late in the season. Interesting. So let's just have a look at that other bits and pieces in the dark side's comments to the Cash. The Cash, like I said, sitting here doing nothing, just having a Tosca, and he gets this sort of a response from the dark side. Okay. Finally, a chance for you to play in the Duty Bowl, Dictator Cash. Well, history does show that the Cash has been in the Duty Bowl before. 2014 was the year, a bit before your time, Dark Side, I know. But the Cash did play in a Duty Bowl. Was against Young Remix Killers that year. Cash was up 14 points with 2 minutes to go in the Duty Bowl. And then, out of fucking nowhere, Ben Roethlisberger throws a Hail Mary to Antonio Brown. The Killers get 18 points and the Cash goes down by 4. Devastated. Still have nightmares about that one, but Cash has been in a Duty Bowl before. Inability to coach a team. Okay, let's have a look at this one. This might take a little bit of explaining and a little bit of the way Cash's brain works, but we'll give it a try. We need to look at trades this year. The Cash. Cash had 3 trades for the year with 3 different people. The Dark Side, Moneymakers, and Team Mazza. First one, the Dark Side. Cash got Leonard Fournette and gave the Dark Side Brandon Cooks. At the time, a fair trade. Fournette was injured. Cooks was doing really well, scoring double figures most weeks. Cash took a punt on that one, that he just sit Fournette on the bench, knowing full well that Fournette would be the number 1 running back, not Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones is not a fucking bloke that could wipe Fournette's ass. So that's the first one. The second one, a bigger trade with Moneymakers. The Cash sent across Eli Mitchell, Kadarius Toney, and Darren Waller. Darren Waller, at the time, was a number 1 or number 2 tight end. Toney had just gone off for the New York Giants, and Eli Mitchell was playing really well for San Francisco. Cash took a punt again. Dalvin Cook, injured at the time. Cash stashed him on the bench, hoping that he would come back, because he would obviously number 1 running back for Vikings. Picked up Odell Beckham just to make up the numbers, and Tyler Higbee. Needed Tyler Higbee. The Gronk was injured at the time, so he played Tyler Higbee for about 3 or 4 weeks. That was a good one for the Cash. Moves on to the third trade. And this was probably the best trade of them all, with Team Mazza. Team Mazza was really hard about Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook absolutely blowing them away at Baltimore, their number one running back. But the Cash knew he had Fournette and he had Fournette and Montgomery sitting on the bench. You don't win the Duty Bowl in round 8 or 9, unfortunately. So the Cash, with this in mind, sat those blokes on the bench, played around with a few other running backs. Obviously was losing games at this time, dropped as low as 11th, but Cash always had this in the back of his mind. But who did Cash pick up? Stephon Diggs and David Montgomery. So he's got Montgomery, believe injured at the time as well, put on the bench, and Stephon Diggs, one of the best wide receivers in the league. So on paper, people may have said Team Mazza won that one because Montgomery was injured, but Cash knew that you don't win the Duty Bowl in week 8 or week 9. So let's just have a look at some of these waivers that the Cash also picked up. So he picked up Eli Mitchell off the waiver, and that was used in a trade with Moneymakers. He's picked up AJ Green off the waiver as well, who's been a very, very handy player. Picked up Kadarius Toney, again used in that trade with Moneymakers. Jordan Howard, who was needed at the time. Chris Boswell, who was needed at the time because Butker was on a bye. Logan Thomas, probably not a great one, but just wanted to have him there just in case. Dontrell Hilliard, who was blitzing at Tennessee, not so much now, but was when Derrick Henry was away. And finally, Cam Akers off the waiver as well. It's going to sit him aside. He's not playing this week. He'll play next week. Sony Michel. Sony Michel has been on my team twice before I picked him up the third time off the waivers. So obviously he's not someone that people take seriously, but the Cash does. And last week he scored 20. So look, inability to coach an FNFL team, I don't know. I reckon the Cash might be doing okay this year. Past years, possibly. Been unlucky with injuries. But this year, definitely, the Cash is in with a big chance to win the Duty Bowl. So, just wanted to play a little bit of a theme song in the background. You might know it. So far, the Cash has outwitted you. So far, the Cash has outplayed you. He's won 6 of his last 7. It should be 7 in a row, except for that fucking Tom Brady dick-sucking poofed a coach from Tampa Bay who decided to bench Fournette and Gronkowski in the last quarter, and I lost to Team Mazza by 4. So the only thing left now for the Cash is to outlast. And this will happen this week. The Cash will outlast the dark side, and he'll go forward into his second Duty Bowl. He doesn't care who he plays, whether it's the young remix killers or whether it's Mitch's mongrels. If it's Mitch's mongrels, we've beaten them this year. If it's young remix killers, payback's a bitch. That's the Cash out.